Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Welcome to the Tribology Lab. Tribology Lab is part of the subject of BMMM 2343 Basic Tribology. Okay. Okay, now this is the first experiment or experiment number 1, which is called the dry friction. As you know, friction equals to coefficient of friction times normal force. Okay, and F equals to mu n. I'm sure that you have know about this formula. This is the experiment setup for the dry friction experiment. We have the drive motor with cable drum. This is cable drum. Okay, there are two types of cable drum that is small and one is big. The second one is the carriage with the guide bar. It can move. You will see later on why it must move. And then we have friction plate made from aluminium. We have many friction plate for different material, but for this experiment purpose we use aluminium. This friction plate is put on the carriage like this, so it is the surface, and this is the friction body, also made from aluminium. We also have different type of material for this friction body, which is brass and steel. So this friction body, we put it on the friction plate like this, and it is connected by a string to the dynamometer. Okay, the weight of this friction body is 1 Newton, and this is the load weight. As you know, you can put the different weight to study the friction force, and the friction force can be detected by using this dynamometer. Okay, first you must set the dynamometer to 0. Okay. Okay, before I forget, the surface of this friction body have two types of surface. One is smooth and the other one is rough. As you can see, there is a rough surface here, and then we can also use different size. One is narrow and the other one is wide. Both are smooth. If you want to study the wide or the size of the friction body, you use the smooth one. This is the wide body and this is narrow body, like this. So first we study the wide body. First we study the wide body with different weight. So we use first without any weight, which is 1 Newton. So to run the experiment, you must put the cable drum to the motor. So put it properly. There is a small hole here. The small hole should be aligned to the small pin at the motor. Okay, and you hang the hook under the carriage. So make sure the string is properly attached, and then you switch on the motor. Make sure the 0 start at 0 Newton, the dynamometer, and then you switch on the motor. Okay, you must make sure the friction body is at the center or further to the left of my side, and then make sure the force is 0 before you run the experiment. Okay, switch on the button, and then you just wait until the body move to the end of the carriage and switch off the button and take the result, which is about, now it is about 0.26 Newton. 0.26 Newton. So in order to add weight to the experiment, we must unwind the cable drum. We move the carriage to the end, and then we put back the cable drum to its position, and we put the friction body back onto the carriage, and then we put 0.5 Newton. Now it will become 1.5 Newton. So we are now ready to run the experiment again, but we must set the dynamometer to 0, and then switch on again. Okay, stop. Now let's see, the value is 0.4 Newton.
Encik Azun just showed to you how to run experiment number 1. So for the discussion part, I want you to predict what will happen to your frictional force if I change from the current setting 1.0 Newton into 0.5 Newton, and after that I change into 2 Newton and then 2.5 Newton. You may use Coulomb's law to explain what will happen to your frictional force. For discussion number 2 is also based on Coulomb's law as well. So I want you to find out what will happen to the frictional force if I change the small cable drum into a bigger cable drum. The small cable drum resembles a lower speed compared to the bigger cable drum. This is also based on Coulomb's law. So for the third discussion, it's also based on Coulomb's law. I want you to find out what will happen to your frictional force if I change my load weight from the broad surface like this into a narrow surface like this. And the final discussion, which is discussion number 4, I want you to find out what will happen to my frictional force if I change from the smooth surface into the rougher surface. So